There was an active shooter 2 offices down from me. On April Fools, I thought it was training. It was not. The cops cleared the whole building, and I felt barely anything. Completely calm. I went through it like I was at a long line in the DMV. Literally, for years, I told myself that was a strength, that I'm the guy nothing touches, the cool head in a crisis. Here's what I didn't know, though. That same switch that made war zones completely manageable and fine had also turned everything else off. So the military gave me everything that a person is supposed to need. Food, shelter, a team that has my back no matter what. Zero chance of getting fired. And I still felt nothing, despite being part of something so much bigger than me. Sure, some days it was better, but most of the time it was just nothing. So today I want to show you why that happens. Why the safest and most connected guys can still be dead inside. And the regular dude with a house, with a good job, feels it worst of all. And actually, what fixes it? So stay with me. First, let me tell you why a bunch of strangers in uniform will run through a wall for each other, and then your talented team of coworkers won't. In the military, your needs are just handled. Food, roof, paycheck, that just shows up. People to work out with, suffer long shifts with, do the stuff that nobody wants to do with. And then the one part that civilians always like to forget is that we don't fire people we don't like. You can't just swap somebody out for a new hire. So you're forced to deal with each other, to invest, to mold the guy next to you to the standard, because he's not going anywhere and neither are you. This is your job. This is your team. This is where you live. Go. That's how the military works. Those deep bonds aren't built on talent or chemistry. They're built on that guaranteed belonging. You're on this team no matter what, so you might as well go all in on each other. But your workplace is the opposite. Everyone's replaceable, including you, so nobody fully invests, including you. You're all auditioning all of the time. Like, think about how much energy at work you spend on not being replaceable instead of actually just doing the work, like being fully invested. Now, if you have your own business, then that's a different story. But there's still a gap of taxes that you're not paying from your level of investment. But the needs being met isn't even the most important part. The real magic is what that safety actually lets people do. So that safety doesn't buy you comfort. In the military, you take risks, you speak up, you try the hard thing, you put yourself out there, because the worst case scenario isn't a game ender. Like, worst case, you look dumb, you get chewed out, it's uncomfortable, then it's over. You've never one mistake from losing literally everything. And even if you somehow just torch it all, like, you're moving bases in a couple years. Fresh start, new people, like, it's just built in. So you can only give your all when failing isn't going to end you. Safety isn't the reward. Safety is what allows you that space to run. So every risk in your life, like being honest with the people that are close to you, admitting when you're not okay, trying something that you might be bad at, your nervous system, your body treats it like a game ender. Next time you avoid saying something true because you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings or you don't want to upset them, just ask yourself, if I said this and it went badly, would my life actually be over? What are the real consequences I'm dealing with here? Would it just be uncomfortable for a bit? Would I just feel like an asshole? Almost always it's the second one. Your body just really can't tell the difference. Which brings us to you. Because on paper, you're safe. So what do you feel like you're under fire every day? Like, you have to go, you have to keep doing it, you have to do this, and you got to do that, and you need to get to this place, and you're just always running. When you know you have the safety to slow down. What happens if you slow down? Look, you've got The house, the job, the title, the income. Nobody's going to fire you tomorrow, so why are you so tense? So I worked with a guy named Marcus. Tech, six figures, house, newly married, baby on the way. He's got everything. But then one time we were having a chat, and then he said something that stuck with me for a while. He said he feels like he's watching his life happen to somebody else. Wake up, work, come home, watch sports, gym, bed. The same loop. Wasn't depressed, he wasn't broken, he was just completely absent in his life. He was like a character in somebody else's story. When you're living in survival mode because your worth is just fused to your performance, when you strip the title and the income and the output, you lose sight of who's left. So some part of you is just trying to defend that identity. You're not safe at all. You're one bad quarter from not knowing who you are. That's why you can't relax. That's why you can't be present. That's why you can't give your all to your kid on jumping on the trampoline with them. You're stuck guarding the gate. Because you can't be that, no. If you're fun and you're silly and you're being present, then you're not the guy that got all that success. Because success was supposed to look a specific way to you. So you might be thinking that you are your job. And this is not something that comes to your mind. You don't actually say that, oh, I am my job. But you have that belief that if you didn't have your job and you didn't have money, where would you be? And this is probably going to be bringing up a lot of different thoughts, maybe some different judgments, maybe, you might be feeling more behind or lost, but just name those feelings. Just say, I'm having the thought that I'm lost. I'm having the thought that I'm only worth what I produce. That thought, I'm having the thought that puts space between you and the story. And this is called diffusion, just as kind of like a psychological type thing. But like that space between your thinking and yourself makes a huge difference. Don't try to argue yourself out of it. You cannot think your way out of this problem. You can only notice it. Okay, now here is where a lot of guys get wrong. They get this wrong all the time. So they feel this and then they decide that, okay, now what I need to fix or what I need to change is the outside. It might be, maybe sometimes it's even, they're like, oh, I need to find a new job. I need to find a new city. I need to find my people. Like they feel so lost that they refuse to look inside and they continue to try to look outside. And that's not the case. It just isn't. I tried the most extreme version of that you can imagine. I had the most tight-knit team on earth, all my needs met, brothers who'd take a bullet for me. And what did that do? Where was I? Full of zest for life, fully just alive and joyful and happy? No. that was not what happened at all. So remember that active shooter, right? I had everything. Total safety, total belonging, and I felt nothing. Through one of the scariest moments that most people will ever face, literally 2 offices down my hallway, a guy with a shotgun and intent. And I was just so calm. I just closed my door. Okay, I do this. And then I just waited. My heart rate barely even changed. And it wasn't just that day either. There was another time I had a coworker named Luke. Came in furious one morning over a nail in his tire or something. He was angry, he was loud, he was just like feeling it. And I was just sitting there watching him. just watching him. And he turned to me and he's like, I wish I could be like you. I wish I could be always calm, like always stoic. And I don't know what it was, but just I instantly told him, no, you don't. You don't want to be like me. Because I was envious of him. I told him, I want to be like you. I was envious of the way that he showed up in his life. My best day and my worst day looked exactly the same from the inside. This is how I thought I was. I thought I was, just really good at dealing with stress. I thought maybe I was just super stoic. But it turned out I was just numb, man. Just completely numb. That external safety gets you function. It gets you function. It gets you everything that you need, but it does not make you feel alive. The military is supposed to be from the outside in. Like, they give you the ideals. They give you your core values. They give you all this stuff to believe in. But that's not how it works for everyone. I'm a living proof that it did not reach the inside. It really didn't. If you're trying to chase a new job, it's going to feel the same in 6 months. The tribe that you feel is your people, it's going to feel hollow if you just keep showing up numb and on autopilot. You can't outsource this. I'm not telling you to go find your people. I'm telling you that the safety that you are missing out isn't there. You have to build it in here. So if you can't get it from a team, a title, or a paycheck, where does it actually come from? This is the whole thing. This is what took me so long to figure out. Like, literally 12 years. You can build the exact same thing that the military gave me without any of the externals from the inside. So I've been deployed 3 times. Once for over a year, and when you're gone that long, your kid just goes to mom for everything. That's just how it goes. And so after I had started doing this work, being actually present, not just performing it, not just showing up or being physically present, I was being emotionally present as well. Something changed. It wasn't immediately, it took time. But so one day the whole family was downstairs and my daughter was upstairs. She comes down and she walked right past her mom and her grandma and came straight to me to ask a question. And so I answered the question, and she skipped along and went back upstairs. And when I turned back, they were both staring at me. Like, basically their jaws just dropped. And they were like, "What was that?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" They didn't realize how much that she's been going to me. They were upset. They were jealous that she was coming to me. And they're like, "She could have asked me that question." They were mad that my daughter went to me and not them, which was a super awesome win for me. But like, they didn't even realize, because it wasn't just one big thing that changed that. I did it over, 100 small interactions that nobody's tracking. So like, that safety that the military builds with the rules and the belonging, you can really build it in like 4 things. So 1, there's a you underneath the title, the part of you that's, reading the room and that's watching your own thoughts. That part isn't on the line. It can't be fired or demoted or downsized. The stock market crashes. It's not going anywhere. That's you. And like, sure, the military gave me a crude version of that. Lose the unit, move bases. I'm still me. So you build the real person on purpose, the real version of yourself. It's like, once a day, just notice you, like the observer part of you, the part of you that's actually like watching everything going on. It never changes. All right. And 2, let the worst feelings not be the end of you. Soldiers and people in the military, Marines, they take risks because the worst case is survivable. And like, you can teach your body this too. The next time that you're feeling fear and you're feeling like scared and you're feeling anxiety, like don't fight it, don't fix it. Like, just do this. Set a timer for even just 90 seconds. If you have that space. And you just sit there and you just say, "Oh, this is dread. This is anxiety. I am just feeling scared and nervous, or I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling frustrated." And you just name the feeling that you're feeling, and then you just sit there with it. Like, you don't do anything. You just say, okay, I'm just, I'm going to feel angry for the next 90 seconds. I'm going to feel this anxiety for the next 90 seconds. Here we go. That wasn't so bad. All right. And 3rd, unhook from the story. If you stop performing and you stop showing up and you start being who all these other people want you to be, you're not going to lose everything. Thinking that you're going to lose everything is just a thought. It's not a fact. One thing I always like to try is thanking your mind. When your mind is like, "Oh no, well, this person's going to get mad at me and they're going to do this and then they're going to do this," and then you're just like, "Okay, thank you, mind. I understand you're just trying to keep me protected. I understand that you don't want that person to be mad at me. It's okay, I got this." And 4, give your all to what actually matters. You can only go all in when you're not busy protecting yourself. The military removed the threat so that you can just serve the mission. They take care of everything for you. The focus is serving your people and taking care of your team, not trying to survive and take care of yourself and try to figure out how you're going to do all these other things. So ask, if you just couldn't be fired from your own life, if you just couldn't lose, what would you give your all to? Actually, you don't need to work. You don't need a job. You don't need a career. What are you doing? What would you do if you could? And why? Why is that important to you? So look, a lot of times when I'm getting ready to work with somebody, they have this fear as well that, if I get, a life coach, or I get this, or I go to therapy and I change all these things, that their whole life is going to change. Right? Because they think, this is going to change my life, but they like their life. They worked hard on it. They don't want to start over from scratch. What this does is this changes not the outside of your life. This changes the inside of your life. This changes where you show up in it, how you live it, how you live in your life. You can be there for the trampoline and the basketball games and the soccer games and the art stuff, whatever your kid's interested in, the graduation, even just the ordinary Tuesday when your kid walks past everyone to get to you. And it starts smaller than you think. So here's what I want you to know. You're not weak. You're not broken. You've just been safe on the outside and really unprotected on the inside. And no amount of winning is going to fix that. And if you want the first steps, the actual practices, not a pep talk, I built a free 7-day email course, just one short thing a day. It's where the work starts. Link is in the description.